Week 13 is upon us here for the NFL, coming off of a snooze fest of a Week 12, if you ask me, besides the Philly and Buffalo matchup. Oh, boy, was that 1 o'clock slate atrocious. Holy Lord, was that bad. That was really, really bad. But we're on to another week, and it's a shortened slate here, if you will, with 6 teams. Count them, 6 teams on a bye, including the Ravens, Bills, Bears, Raiders, Vikings, and Giants. Brother-in-law Matt, how are you doing today on this chilly Wednesday afternoon? How are you?
Yeah, a little cold, but I'm doing well, Tuck. How about you?
All right. Doing okay in this busy holiday season here, but let's get right to our Week 12 recap. Take us through it, Matthew.
All right, buddy. 2-3 for you. Best bet Vikings loss. Monday Night Football was that game. Just talk about atrocious. That was.
I didn't expect Josh Dobbs to just revert back to being a shitty backup.
Yeah, it came back to earth real quick.
Yeah,
Turned into
against
Josh
the Bears,
Dobbs.
nonetheless.
Yeah, awful game there. That was a loss. On Thanksgiving, we had the Lions. Well, you had the Lions minus 7.5. That was a loss. Up and moving to Sunday, the Giants and Patriots under. Easily hit there.
Probably one of the easiest bets I've made this year.
Yeah, no sweat ever in that one.
Yeah.
Not even close.
And if you listen back real quick, I pretty much nailed everything about that Patriots-Giants game heading into it.
Yeah.
Not to, pat myself on the back here.
Yeah, little pat.
You got to give credit where it's credit's due, especially from a guy who's friggin' 3-9 on his best bet, so I'll take it.
You take that.
Yeah.
Rams plus 1.5. They ended up, I think they closed close to 3. I think it was minus 2.5.
I did see minus 3 there, and we got him at +1 on
beautiful
ahead
number.
of it.
Beautiful number, beautiful cover, the absolute blowout there. And then we had a double like with Vegas, and feeling like our double likes are just miserable at this point.
Yeah. Do we have a double like record? Because I feel like we're over.
Yeah, but no, we're officially 3-4 on the season on double likes.
Oh, okay, so not as bad as I thought.
But we were trending in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
I think it's like 3 in a row we've lost. Vegas out to a 14-0 lead. Miss a 30-yard field goal. I texted you. I'm like,
hey,
that's it.
We were feeling good about that. 14 zip.
Should have been 7. How do you miss a 30-yard field goal? Jesus
I don't know.
Christ.
That should have hit. They just fell asleep there.
God. Then I was hoping for the back door. That said, 2-3 on the week for you, Tuck. 34-25-1 still for your overall record on the show. 3-9 best bets. For me, another best bet winner with the Atlanta Falcons +1 outright winner there. Told you guys they were going to win that game. 9-point win, so feel good there. Nice play. Washington +11. That went to as many as 13.5 on Thursday, and it didn't matter because Dallas took over in the second half. We were watching the first half of that game together, Tuck, and then we got in the car. I went home, and by the time I got home, it was a bloodbath.
That was
what
over.
Happened. So that was a loss. Had the Arizona Rams over 44.5. That was a hit. Thank you to the Rams. No thank you to Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals there, but still covered that number. Buffalo, Philly over 47.5 after a slow start. No problem there, and especially when we get to OT, cash that easy. And like I said, Vegas double loss. So 3-2 for me. 33-27 now on the season. 10-2 on my best bets.
I will say, I knocked the best bets, but I did have a hell of a week last week between my wagers and my daily fantasy.
Yep.
Daily fantasy, I had a stack of Josh Allen and Steph Diggs, ran it back with Devonta Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I had Pat Fryermuth in there, exploded.
Yep.
And I won myself probably over $500 there.
A beautiful, beautiful day.
And then I had two $5 parlays, which I've been known to do from time to time, on like I think it was a 4-leg and a 5-leg. I hit both of those.
Beautiful.
I had a
just a nice
really
little day.
good, solid week 12.
Nice
week 12.
little day. Yeah. I had I went all in on Atlanta. Had Bijan +900 to score 2 touchdowns. I also did anytime touchdown. Just
I tailed that with you.
One.
That was the other one I had.
Was +900 hit.
Bijan 2+ scores there.
Yeah, it was nice, and he delivered.
Now you actually sent me a screenshot of one of your buddies who's just been hammering your best bets every week. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was college. No, college.
College.
The 6-pack. We swept the 6-pack. So
yes.
if you follow the Instagram post, we hit the 6-pack. We complete sweep. I was 12-0 on the day in college, so it was the greatest.
You were 12-0?
12-0 on Saturday.
Holy
it was
crap.
the greatest day of my life. Just couldn't miss. And then we started hot on Sunday. It was like, this streak's unbelievable. So I was on a hot one. I think it ended with Vegas there in the 4 o'clock slate. But
Yeah.
we hit about 15, 16 in a row. It felt nice. So we're going to keep it rolling, though.
Very
We're gonna
nice.
Stay hot.
And if you do want to get Prisco's six-pack for college football, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at Better in Laws. That's where the picks will be posted there ahead of kickoff, mind you, because we don't talk about it on the podcast.
But now, that was the last regular season. So this Saturday, we'll be doing college basketball
College
six-packs for the college basketball season, which we've been hot to start. So we're feeling good about it.
All right, well, definitely give us a follow there. And if you are a consistent listener, which we are seeing consistent numbers on a week-to-week basis, first of all, thank you for listening. If you haven't done so, spread the word. And on top of that, leave us a 5-star review and leave us a review on Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast, and subscribe to us on YouTube and leave some comments there as well. That will only help us grow. All right, so let's move on to Week 13 here. We will start off with our 4 likes, cover the rest, and then we will wrap up the podcast with our best bet. So let's kick it off here. Matt, why don't you take away with your first like of the week here?
All right, Tuck. First like of the week, 1 o'clock slate right here. Just outside of Boston, it is the Los Angeles Chargers -6 in Foxborough playing the Patriots. And I'm just going to tell you what, I'm going to keep this nice and easy. We're taking the Chargers. I'm back on the Chargers, -6. So that's probably good for you Patriots fans who understand how well I'm doing with the Chargers this season. But look, the Chargers tucked.
Wait. So I want them to lose.
Yeah, but you do. There's still people out there.
No,
that
there's
don't
not.
Want, yeah, there's
No,
some.
no, there's not.
Smart ones want them to lose.
No. I'm saying nobody's rooting for the Patriots right now. They want them to lose.
They should want them to lose. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Chargers -6 here. Look, the Chargers, Tuck, that we've seen this movie before. They cannot win close games against any good team or any team in general, quite honestly. But so why do I like them? Well, the Patriots are not a good team. 2-9, just gross, look awful. They're getting worse by the week. This is not going to be a one-possession game. Don't care how bad the weather is, So, gonna say no thanks here, buddy. Don't like it. Don't like it for the Pats, so gonna stay away there. The Chargers, look, they've played Dallas, Baltimore pretty closely. They can't win these close games, so take that. The Patriots continue to start Mac Jones. And I don't understand it.
Yet they're still playing this weird-ass, everybody's going to be ready to play for their quarterback there, which is the wrong approach. It's the wrong approach.
I've started to believe that Belichick has said, I didn't want to draft this guy. You guys made me draft this guy, so now I'm going to trot him out every week to show you he sucks, and I'm going to continue to bench him just to put on the spotlight.
Well, he was given the opportunity the past week where he was asked twice now, both in a radio interview and I think a follow-up at a press conference, where he was pretty much asked, did you make the final call to draft Mac Jones? Yeah. And the answer that he gave both times was something along the lines of, from it was a collaborative pick amongst the organization. And I'm paraphrasing, but if he's letting it be known that he's not closing the door that Kraft forced him to draft Mac Jones.
That's the vibe I'm getting. And look, he's just lost it. When you play it, like he's just lost. He's got the yips or whatever you want to call it. He doesn't look right. He's getting worse by the week. So you know what?
Honestly, I feel bad for him.
It's getting to that point.
This
really
guy
is.
He's clearly got the yips. You see him literally on the verge of a panic attack.
Yep, looks that way.
Heading onto the sideline with his deep breathing and everything to slow down his heart rate, and it looks like he's about to break down. Honestly, mentally. So I do feel bad for the guy, even though I was never really a huge Mac guy. This line is kind of strange to me. I feel like this should be 7.5 for the Chargers, and I wonder if they're just kind of saying, hey, West Coast team to the East Coast, it's not going to be a touchdown. But I don't agree with that.
I can explain. Belichick has had success against Justin Herbert in his career.
Very good success.
Beaten him, so I think that makes some sense. I think that's into the line a little bit. They're back at home now, which I actually look as a negative in this case because, look, since this has really gotten ugly with Mac Jones, they were in Germany. They were in where were they last?
New York.
New York. Thank you. Now they're back home. So if he starts out poorly, then the crowd gets on him. It's even worse. It's just going to keep spiraling. And by the way, Bailey Zappi's looked like shit too. Yeah. So it's not like they have the answer.
They don't have a quarterback on the roster.
So give me the Chargers -6. I don't think it's close. I don't care what the weather's going to be. I've seen it looks like it's going to be some rain. I don't think it matters. I know they're from L.A. They're coming across the east. They're going to get bad weather. That just tells you how poor the Patriots are. I like the Chargers here by a touchdown. So -6, I'll take it. Give me the Chargers.
So just real quick, you mentioned the crowd.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be a crowd.
Yeah, there's not going to. Why would you go to this game in this weather? And
okay, so I am on StubHub right now, and I tweeted something out on Sunday about this game. It was $77 for a get-in price, and that was in the 300s, mind you. I just punched in 2 tickets, and the get-in price is, take a wild guess,
$25.
$46 for Section 202, row 18. The next one is Section 325, row 15, $54 each. So somebody in Section 202 is like, no fucking chance I'm going.
No way I'm going.
Given and I'm sure the weather is a part of that. You know, if this was a nice 50-degree sunny day, I'm sure that would be an elevated price. But it would be below 100. It will be below 100. That's for damn sure. So, yeah, the Boo Birds will be out there, and there's going to be a lot of empty seats at Gillette Stadium. Unfortunately, you do hate to see that.
Yeah.
But I do side with you on the Chargers there. I just want to see them get Austin Eckler going. I don't know what's kind of been going on with that
He's slow. He looks very slow. Like, I watched some clips of him, and his speed is just gone. Like, he doesn't have the breakaway anymore.
Is that a health thing, or is that just another year older thing? Because he looked pretty solid a few times.
He's still getting the job done, but he's not as quick as he used to be. So I don't know if it's health or he's just age. He's a running back. You know how this goes, and he's had a lot of touches over his career. And Josh Kelly's not helping them in any way. He's pretty terrible.
I mean, he had a stretch there from weeks 8 through 10 where he had pretty much 20 fantasy points each week, but the past 2 weeks has been 6 points and 7 points.
Well, Ravens will do that to you.
Yeah. So
I know we'll come back to this game. I probably should have waited on this one. But
no, it's fine. It's
we'll
fine.
Back to it.
Let's get to my first like here, and I'm going to be chasing this team for a third week in a row.
I saw this, and I was just laughing before you get into it. I'm like, eventually it's got to hit, right?
It's going to hit, and it's going to hit this week. Lions -4 on the road in New Orleans. Look, I know that they've been they didn't show up on Thanksgiving whatsoever, and I don't know if that was more so that the Lions didn't show up or that the Packers just really look like they're trying hard to make the playoffs, because they look like a completely different offense right now. I did not, really think that was possible on the road in Detroit last week.
Nope.
But I'll say this. Lions, they're 5-0 against the spread following a loss in their last 5 games. And they're facing a New Orleans team that, number one, I don't think is very good. Mm-hmm. They looked like they were a solid defense and a capable offense early on, but now you're just kind of discovering that Derek Carr was kind of a giant waste of money. On top of that, they're getting more banged up by each week. Now you lost Michael Thomas a couple weeks ago for the year. Last week, you lost Chris Olave to a concussion. I highly doubt he plays this week, although we'll get more developments on that for the rest of the week. You never know with this concussion protocol.
Yep.
Rashid Shaheed, who's been a nice piece, a burner for that offense, he is most likely out for multiple weeks. And I have not seen an update on the status of Cam Jordan for that defense, an anchor on that defense with an ankle injury. So this just feels like it's going to be a heavy Alvin Kamara, heavy Taysom Hill, annoying game from the Saints. And I think that the Lions, honestly, they could beat them by double digits in this one. That's how banged up that the Saints are in this one. So give me the Lions -4 in this one. They bounce back this week in a big way, I think.
Yeah, I like this pick for you, Tuck. I agree with this. The more I look at this game, they are so banged up. I don't know how they cover this number. They're at home, but they're not playing well at home. Right, Derek Carr has just had some miserable quotes in the media about how he's taking time, still taking time to used to the weapons, and the weapons are changing every week. Like, who's
like
in, who's
you've
out.
been playing
like,
since like
Right.
you've been with these guys since like what mini camps were June, July, whatever.
Get it together, Derek. I don't like what you're saying. On the flip side, I like what Dan Campbell's saying, right? He takes ownership on losses. You know, Goff's been bad. He's in a bad stretch. That's the one fear. That's why it's not on my card. I just don't like the way he's playing, and I don't like the way the Lions' defense is playing. So I didn't want to leave any points out there, but I do agree with you. If I had to pick a side, it would be the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, Goff's looked like crap the
Yeah.
past couple of weeks, and more so on Thanksgiving, I thought.
Jesus, was he bad?
And the week before that, he had 3 picks.
Yeah, he's not. He's in a little bit of a rut. So when you're in a rut, I don't like
Yeah.
to lay points, but especially on the road. But all that said, I still think it's the right.
But in terms of the Lions' defense, like, yeah, I know they've been giving up a ton of points there, but I'm just not scared of the Saints' pass catchers or their offense, literally overall. Like, they can plan for Alvin Kamara, and they can get after Derek Carr. So I'm really, really not concerned about the Saints' defense here. By the way, the Saints are 2-2 at home, 3-4 on the road, and they're now losers of 2 straight. And it just seems like they're at the point now where they're probably going to skid down these NFC South standings here, and the Falcons are probably going to lock up that division in the next couple of weeks here. Your second like, Matt.
All right, Tuck. Second like for me, I'm going to the Tennessee Titans plus 1.5 at home this week against the Indianapolis Colts. And look, the Titans are 4-7. They're 0-6 though on the road. Their one home loss, that's overseas. So in Nashville, they're actually 4-0. And these two teams played earlier in this year, and I was on the Colts, and the Colts did cover that game in Indy. These two teams just play better at home. It's just kind of how it is. Jonathan Taylor ruled out yesterday, broken finger.
Seems like he's out for a while.
Yeah, they
was
said
a thumb.
thumb. Was it a thumb? I saw a finger. So thumb. I saw 1 to 2 weeks. We'll see if that goes beyond that. I'm not too sure, but I do know he's out for this one. And Jonathan Taylor, for those who have been watching, getting right back into his old form, being that stud workhorse for the Titans over the last couple of games. And I know Indy's won 3 in a row. Those wins came over New England, Carolina, and a really banged-up Tampa Bay team that helped get the Colts passing game going. And look, can Indy move the ball in this game? They'll move it. But they're also 27th in the league against the run, Indianapolis is. And I think Derrick Henry, Tajay Spears will have a nice combo game in this one. And I think that's going to open it up for Will Levis, who did not play against the Colts the first time that they played. I think he can manage this game in a much better way than Ryan Tannehill could. So I think DeAndre Hopkins gets loose in this one. I think Tennessee runs all over them. If I'm getting points with Tennessee, this is just like Atlanta last week. Wrong team's favored here. Give me the Titans. This was very close to being my best bet. And I'll tell you, the one thing that kept me off of it being my best bet was that I'm not sure about Mike Vrabel buy-in with the Titans right now. So there's a lot of rumors going around about the New England exit of Belichick and Ohio State potentially firing Ryan Day after losing to Michigan again. And does Vrabel want that job? Does he want this job?
He can shut that down
so
pretty quick, though.
He could if he wanted to,
players.
but he's also wanted nothing to do with a rebuild. And Tennessee has just continuously tried to rumor the Derrick Henry trade, rumor DeAndre Hopkins trade. He was pissed off when they traded A.J. Brown, and he won that battle with the GM back then. But you start to wonder if there's smoke here. Is there actual fire? So how will the players come out? I'm really not worried about it too much, but it did make me back it off my best bet to make him my strongest like.
I will say with the Vrabel stuff that it seems like he does not like the direction of the front office there. And I forget who said this, forgive me, but they said something along the lines of that ownership pretty much hired this GM, and I don't know his name. I forget. I've only heard him once. But they pretty much they made the final call in hiring this GM, and Vrabel, that was not his guy, apparently.
Yeah.
I will note that this previous matchup, the Colts did win 23-16. Zach Moss had 23 carries, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns in that matchup.
Yep.
So just a quick note there with the loss of Jonathan Taylor there. And this was the game where Anthony Richardson left with his injury.
Yep.
And Gardner Minshew came in and actually did a pretty nice job there. 11 of 14. So that is your second like. Chiefs plus 1.5.
Titans plus 1.5.
What did I say? Chiefs?
Chiefs.
What the fuck's the matter with me? Jesus Christ. I hate this time of year, honestly.
You're good.
Do you remember me last week?
I'll take the Chiefs plus 1.5 if I can get that.
Just hucking my microphone across the room and my water bottle when we did the Zoom last week, and I was saying the wrong week. It's just some fucking mental case, honestly. I really am.
We have 2 kids each, and don't sleep.
Bunch of shit going on.
Work early hours.
Yeah.
Get it.
Exactly. All right, so fucking Titans plus 1.5. That's what I meant to say.
Beautiful.
Jesus Christ.
Beautiful.
All right, moving ahead to my second like here, and this one was pretty close for me, but I ended up just pulling the trigger on it anyways. Give me the Steelers minus 5.5 here. You got the classic formula of West Coast team heading to the East Coast for a 1 o'clock game. You always like that, benefiting the home team. Cardinals, on top of that, they are heading into their bye week and have absolutely no incentive whatsoever to win this matchup. Steelers offense looked much more productive in their first game without recently fired offensive coordinator Matt Canada. So I look for the Steelers to really be bumping at home here and look for Jalen Warren to get a bulk of the carries here. I mean, I know there's kind of a split carry between he and Najee Harris last week, despite reports of Jalen Warren being the more favorable back in this new system. And we saw Pat Freiermuth really take off last week. I mentioned him early on here, and he looks like he's finally a huge part of this offense, at least for 1 week there.
Yep.
And now the Steelers, on top of that, they have to really start looking at the playoff picture now. They're 7-4. You got the Browns, who are banged up. We'll talk about them in a little bit here. But they need to start taking advantage and really position themselves for a strong playoff seeding here. So, and oh, by the way, the Cards, they are posting an average 11.2 points on the road, and they rank dead last in yards per play on the road there. So give me the Steelers minus 5.5. Wouldn't shock me if this moved to 6.5 by Sunday. It's a nice spot for the Steelers. I like it.
Yeah, I don't have a feel either way. I know it opened 6, down to 5.5, but I mean...
It did open 6.
It did open 6.
Huh.
But you could convince me either side here, to be honest. I like the under more than anything in this game. I do say this, though. I think, here's the thing. I think the Steelers get out early.
41-point total, by the way.
Yeah, I think the Steelers get out early because I don't see Arizona scoring early. I think the Steelers get out early and they just run, and wear this team out, and they'll cover this game most likely in the end.
Honestly, it just seems like we've all seen Kyler Murray in the past, and whether he's engaged or not engaged. He has looked really solid since coming off of IR. This just screams heading to a bye.
Yes.
We don't see really tuned in Kyler Murray.
This is another Wednesday edition of the Better In-Laws podcast, but just keep in mind there's projected terrible Pittsburgh December weather as well.
Is there?
I don't think Arizona really wants to come east. And how motivated are they going to be if they start going down 7-10 early? Good luck.
All right, your second like, or third like.
We're moving today, baby. We're moving.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Houston Texans minus 3.5. And I know the Denver Broncos are on fire, and I get it. They've won, 5 in a row now? Up to, what are they, 500, 6-5, whatever they are. They're now all of a sudden a playoff contender.
Broncos have won 5 in a row, and honestly, they are not getting enough chirp in terms of how good of a story this has become.
Yeah. They were looked at, we talked about it, they were one of the worst football teams in the NFL. There wasn't even a question. They gave 70 points to the Dolphins.
Yep.
I know the Dolphins were firing on all cylinders and all that. It doesn't matter. You have 70.
And it's not like they made any staff moves or anything like that. Like, they didn't fire anybody. They've just really rallied, and it seems like they're finally believing in Russell Wilson, and the defenses look solid. So now they're sitting there at 6-5, and they're right in the thick of the playoff picture, just like that, after starting off the season 1-5. Really, really a great story here.
Yeah. So I'm fading them. So let's go with the Texans minus 3.5. I make this game 5. And look, I just talked about Denver being on fire, but anybody watching those games, you cannot tell me that Russell Wilson has turned it around and is playing better. He still sucks, and that's a problem. Their defense is playing better. Javonte Williams is healthier. So they're getting him involved.
Javonte Williams has looked much better and has been the difference in that offense.
Yes.
I will say, though, I like the connection between Sutton and Wilson.
Sutton and Wilson, but that is the offense. Jerry Jeudy is just, is he even playing? Like, where has he been?
Yeah.
Like, it's bizarre. That comes down to Rust can't find him.
Yeah.
He's just throwing the ball up to Sutton, which, hey, if it works, keep going.
So, yeah, it does seem like the Broncos are due to drop one here.
They're due, and they're just still not great on offense. Meanwhile, Houston's pretty solid at home, 4-2. One of those losses coming on a crossbar field goal loss to the Jags last week for Matt Amendola.
Was that in Houston? Yeah, that was in Houston.
It was.
Yeah, so you're going to drop 2 in a row at home?
No.
I don't know.
And they immediately cut him, which I love. Missed that field goal, buddy. Tie us for first place. Give us the tiebreaker. Get out. Love it. Love what my guy is doing down there in Houston. And so CJ Stroud, right? Let's talk about him for a little bit. He's playing like a savvy vet, not a rookie. We continue to talk about it. He had another nice game in Jacksonville. Again, he leads them down the field to tie that game potentially. I think he's going to eat in this one. Houston's second in the league now in passing on offense. They're also 5th in yards per play. This offense is legit. Stroud is legit. I know he's a rookie, but, we got to just give it what it is. This team is exciting. They're young. They're fired up. They're in the playoffs right now. Like, they're ready to roll. And I think Denver, no matter how you cut it, we can throw the Miami game stats out, and it doesn't matter. They're still a bottom 10 pass defense, and that's where this is going to come to fruition for me. They're even worse against the run, especially on the road. Like I said, I know Denver's playing better. I think the bus stops here. Houston wins this game by close to a touchdown, if not a touchdown. So I'll take and I will lay the 3.5 with the Texans.
They did have trouble running last week against that Jaguars defense, but the Jaguars have been solid against the run all year long.
And Singletary, too, has been such a nice addition since they've played him over Dameon Pierce, who couldn't do anything on the ground. And when you look at Houston's stats, Dameon Pierce was terrible for the first 5-6 weeks. Then he went out. Singletary's come up. They still don't look great on paper, but they're a much better running offense with Singletary in the game.
Yeah, and the Broncos secondary, they ranked 22nd versus opposing quarterbacks there, and they have really not faced much as of late in terms of a quarterback. They faced DTR last week, or was that PJ Walker last week?
They played DTR and knocked him out of the game.
Okay, and then before that was Josh Dobbs. For the Vikings
was terrible in that game.
Yeah, and then I guess the only blip was Josh Allen. Yeah. With, they held him in check, definitely.
But that was more about the Bills, too. And the Kansas City win, I think, look, that's a division game. They always play that game close, and Mahomes has always sort of struggled against Denver, put up big numbers. So, listen, credit to Denver. What they're doing is awesome. It's a great story. I think it ends here. That's all.
Yeah, I like it. I like that. All right, let's move to my third like here. Looking at the Atlanta and New York Jets matchup here, I would assume, based on what you've been saying so far, that this is a potential weather game, right?
You know, I didn't even look at that, but I would assume. It seems like everything in the Northeast is going to be gross.
Yeah, if Pittsburgh and Boston is going to be
you'd assume
raining, then why wouldn't New York? It's just going to be like 75 and sunny there. I don't think so, bucko.
Not 75, I'll tell you that. If you want to start your handicap, I'll tell you, but it does say 75% chance of rain, 55 degrees.
Yeah, so this is going to be gross, and even without the grossness, I still would probably hit this. Atlanta, New York Jets under 34 here for me. This is easily going to be the grossest game of the week, and I'm not talking about weather. I'm talking about just putrid offensive play, more so with the Jets. They are averaging 10 points per game over their last 5 games. And during that span, they have scored only 3, count them, 3 touchdowns. Jets are also the only team in the league that's averaging fewer than 1 offensive touchdown per game. I would assume that the Patriots are right there too. They also rank dead last in both third down conversion rates and red zone touchdown conversion rates, with the Atlanta is very successful against. Jets team total for this one is 16.5. I don't see how they get to that number, honestly. Atlanta's defense is going to be just fine. And you pair Atlanta's defense, who's been pretty solid last week. He had a pick 6 last week with the Saints. Pair that with a run-heavy, run-first offense, killing the clock the majority of the game.
Yep.
Screams under for me. Give me under 34 Falcons Jets here for this one.
Lean that way with you, Tuck. The The one thing that scares me is that number is so low that when you start to talk about Desmond Ridder and Tim Boyle, it's just like, God, if they turn the ball over and it turns into a pick six, that's what you want to avoid. You want to avoid like the short fields and such. So like that's the big thing for me, especially in weather where wet footballs and all that. That scares me a little bit with unders. But I mean, look, these two teams are going to struggle to score points. Like I was on Atlanta last week for the best bet, but this is a matchup. The Jets' defense is still better than New Orleans, especially
their run
home.
defense sucks, though.
Yeah, they've been struggling against the run, so that's the concern there. But I think, but it doesn't matter. The Jets scoring on offense, like I told you, I was texting you last week about Desmond Ridder, and I wanted to get on a flight to Atlanta and rip his right arm off so he'd stop throwing the goddamn ball. They're running down your throat. Let's throw interception. Let's throw interception.
Just
I almost
hand off
killed
the
him.
ball.
So that's the thing that scares me. The under is Desmond Ridder deciding he's a good quarterback and throwing and turnovers and all that shit.
So. So, I mean, if the Jets, in terms of the actual game, if the Jets want to have any shot to, A, be competitive, and B, win this game, which I don't think they have a chance, they need to pound Breece Hall 25-plus times, which I don't know why they're not doing that.
I don't know why they're not doing that either.
He's so electric. He's such a good running back. And the fact that he had, 6, 7 carries last week against the Dolphins, like, you're playing a high-caliber offense with the Dolphins on Black Friday last week. You're not pounding Breece Hall to keep that offense off the field. What are you doing?
Their offensive line, though, is so bad. They're down to, like, their 8th and 9th linemen. Like, it
doesn't.
I mean, you can't block. You can't run.
I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but
you got to try.
You got to at least try and establish some sort of run, or get him involved in checkdowns or the screen game or something. Just something, to get your most electric player going. And right there with Garrett Wilson, right? Yeah. But he's not going to be getting the ball much Wilson from Tim Boyle. You shitting me, Tim Boyle?
Gross.
And I don't know if you saw this news. It happened on the way in, but they have opened the practice window, the 21-day practice window for Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that? Because I think it's bullshit.
I also think it's bullshit. I still think he's doing this to give his team some momentum, but I just don't think it's going to work when you have Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle out there. It's just not working. It's not working. You don't have enough talent.
But, like, we've been hearing, and I thought I had that mindset, too, of Aaron Rodgers, when we heard this stuff weeks ago of, hey, I'm going to try and come back. I'm going to try and come back.
He can get out there and throw it. He is doing it.
And my first impression was like, oh, that's sweet. They're going to try and keep this team committed and give them momentum, like you said. But now I'm thinking about it. It's just like, isn't this just really serve Aaron Rodgers and his, selfishness?
I know. Well, yeah. I mean, that's probably part of it,
because then he looks amazing. And if he doesn't come back, and he knows the Jets aren't playoff contenders.
2 games out, and Indy's the last spot. So
they're not going
I know. But who knows? I think he's doing it more for him.
Yes.
And some
so he can come back
next
next year and have that pop
again.
Well,
that's it. Yeah,
He's not going to retire with this.
No way. He'll talk about it all off season.
He wants that spotlight again. He wants the spotlight again. That's all it is. That's all.
And he'll get it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They'll give it to him. Yeah. Absolutely. Sports Center lead every fucking day.
I'll tell you what, Garrett Wilson will do whatever he wants to because
that guy's a boss.
He needs somebody to throw him the football.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to your final like.
My final like and a good sign. We're at the TD Garden in Boston, and someone just comes out in a Green Bay Packers jacket. Wow, that was perfect timing for me. I'm taking the Packers +6 Sunday Night Football.
I was very close to hitting this, too.
Against the Chiefs. Don't look now, Tuck. Here come the Green Bay Packers, 1 game out of the playoffs in the NFC with an absolutely reeling Minnesota Vikings team 1 game ahead. And who's above them? The Seahawks, who have an absolute brutal schedule that they're in right now. Already played the Niners, lost that one. Their next game is against Dallas on Thursday night, right? So good luck there. Don't like what Seattle's got ahead of them. So, hey, open for the Pack to come in here. And, look, they're playing really well. The defense has stepped up. They're 9th against the pass now. And we saw them on Thanksgiving, and their defense just took over that game early against the Lions, made Jared Goff look terrible. So we have an interesting matchup here with the Patrick Mahomes first game at Lambeau, Sunday Night Football in December. Little cold weather out there.
It's going to be raining like the entire
No, it's going to be freezing.
country.
You know it's freezing. I don't even have to look this up. It's going to be freezing in Lambeau on Sunday night. And, here's the thing. The way to beat the Packers still and always has been run the damn ball. Is Kansas City going to be disciplined enough to turn around and give the ball to Isaiah Pacheco when they know they have Patrick
Maybe
Mahomes,
after next
right?
week.
Maybe.
By the way, Sunday is looking like
Cold.
Kind of a wintry mix, if you will.
Perfect.
40% chance of a wintry mix and 39 degrees.
Couldn't
yeah, but
want that
Kansas
anymore.
City's used to that.
Yeah, I
You
know.
shitting me?
I know, but still, I still want that at Lambeau. Just for the scene.
I rule out weather.
Just for the scene.
I rule out weather.
I don't care. Weather's not in my handicap. You brought up weather. Jordan loves
I did
playing
bring up
ba-
weather. You're absolutely right. I did bring up weather.
I didn't even look it up because I didn't need that. If I needed it, I would have went to it.
I totally tried to pin that on you.
When I'm like, I really
Fucking
want this.
idiot bringing up weather.
When I really want the +6 or the points, I'm like, let me see if I can go to weather as an action point. No. But no, look, we just expect it's going to be cold, and both teams are fine playing in the cold.
No Aaron Jones, it sounds like.
Doesn't sound like that, but you know what? They've got to the point where they've played the most of the year without him, and I think they're getting used to it. Jordan Love's played better. That's the big difference here. The last 2 games, he's looked fantastic. In this game's going to come down to who wants to run the ball more. They're pretty much the same team on the run, on the ground rather. Kansas City runs for 106 yards a game. The Packers 102. Who runs the ball more? Both teams excellent against the pass. So reduce the scoring and lean the under in this game. Kansas City's got a little look ahead to the Bills next week.
Coming off a bye.
It's
an Arrowhead, though.
Yes, but this is back-to-back roadies for the Chiefs. So 6 to
Coming
me.
off of Vegas.
Coming off of Vegas where they had to
Got all banged up, probably.
Had to exert more effort than necessary in that game by putting themselves in a hole and having to play for 4 quarters to come back. So 6 on the road in prime time. Little mini bye for the Packers coming off the Thanksgiving. Nice little spot. Home.
I forgot to mention that for the Lions earlier, by the way. Mini bye.
They'll be fired up for this one. I just think 6 is too many. I think the Chiefs win to make the game 4, so I'm taking the value here. Give me the Packers to cover this number, +6. Chiefs win, close game.
Yeah, that was very, very close to being a like for me. I just, it's Chiefs in prime time, so I stayed away from it. But I like it. My final like is your best bet. So let's just.
Do you want to jump to your best bet? Or do you
we got to do the rest.
Likes? Okay.
We got to do the rest.
Your like. That's right. Because I already had your best. Yeah, talk about your like. I forgot about that.
No. I'm done with likes.
Oh, yeah.
We need to talk about the rest of the slate here, Matt.
Got it.
That's how the fucking podcast works.
I forgot. We're doing the rest
6
of the
weeks
slate.
we've been doing this format.
Fucking slate. Well, slate sucks.
A lot of F-bombs today.
Sorry.
Hey,
sorry, Tom Silva. Father-in-law will not be happy.
Listen, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's not a big deal. We're all adults.
It's natural.
What's the detail? I'm going to do what's natural. What comes to my head is natural. We're all adults here.
That's right.
All right, so Thursday Night Football, we have the Cowboys and Seahawks. I've been seeing 9.5 for the Cowboys. Point total in this one is 47.5. Seems like they're baiting people to take the Seahawks there, but I would lean towards taking the Cowboys, who've been absolutely smashing everybody at home. And I don't know if Geno Smith is fully healthy with that elbow. They're coming off a tough loss with the 49ers on Thanksgiving. Both teams played on Thanksgiving, so no real advantage there. I'd probably lean Cowboys in this one, honestly.
I already played the game twice. I'm taking the Seahawks +9.5. I don't think the
why?
Cowboys have beat anybody that's actually good, so I'll continue on that.
All right. Well, but the
Seahawks
Seahawks are just a tough spot right now.
Tough spot, but they're still a top 12 team in the league. And Dallas hasn't beat anybody in the top 12. Mm-hmm. They're just burying other teams. And they both are off the same. So it's Thursday Night Football, but they both played on Thanksgiving, so we got the week. So played that, but I also teased Dallas. So I teased Dallas down to 2.5. Depending on the books, you play numbers. We say this all the time. I played the Seahawks at 9.5. I saw on DraftKings that Dallas was 8.5-point favorite, so I teased them down to 2.5 there. So that's how I played the game here. Going for a middle would be very nice for me.
I mean, I understand that they really have played garbage over the past few weeks, aside from Philadelphia, which they lost, but that was on the road. Mm-hmm. Rams. They were banged up at that point. I believe Cooper Kupp was out for that game.
Yes.
I'm not 100%, but they smoked them. Giants, Carolina, Washington. So, yeah, they've been playing garbage teams, but Dak has really looked solid.
Well, yeah, against
really
trash.
looked solid. Yeah, but I don't know. It just seems like he's really finally clicking with CD Lamb.
They play the Eagles next week. That's their game.
Yeah.
Seattle is in a must win here. Not must win, but it's starting to become more and more pressure. They play the Niners next week, so like Seattle has more pressure on the Seahawks in this game to get a win.
So you've played the Seahawks twice.
I played the Seahawks plus 9.5, but I bet Dallas down to 2.5. So I'm going for a middle. I'd like Dallas to win the game anywhere from 3 to 9 points.
All right, well, there you go. No Thursday bets, but Thursday bets.
That's actually 2 of them.
Yeah, it's 2.
Two
Thursday bets.
Welcome.
Dolphins at Commanders. This is the highest point total on the slate here with 50 points. Obviously, the Dolphins are favored by 9.5 on the road here. Do you really think this game could shoot out?
Yeah, I do. I do because I think, well, put it this way. What's the total, 50?
Yeah, 50.
Okay, so I struggle with this one because I wanted to take Washington. I'm like, I'm not doing this again.
Probably going to be raining.
Suck at home.
It's probably going to be raining.
Doesn't matter. This is what the Miami does. They're the Dallas of the AFC. We say this all the time. They beat up on the trash, and Washington's, I don't know, they qualify as sort of trash. And their defense is definitely trash. So Miami's going to get theirs. I don't care. Rain, snow, sun, doesn't matter. I expect them to be in the 30s in this game. So if I'm playing it, it's a team total over 30 for me.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Tua be successful in bad weather before, so I wouldn't even bat an eye with this one. Yeah, showers and 59, kind of like the entire East Coast there.
Yep.
Like we've
talked about.
It's
a super cool day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Sam Howell can sling it. We know that, but they just really caved in last week with the Cowboys. They didn't put up any points in the second half.
That was gross.
Obviously, that's a giant red flag for me. But yeah, I kind of think this is a nice spot to shoot out here.
I think so too.
I mean, the Dolphins could, seeing what the Commanders have allowed this season, Dolphins could have 40.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so they're definitely in the 30s. I like their team total was 30 earlier in the week.
Is that what it is?
What it is
Okay,
right
yeah.
now, and check it out. But
I will be playing many Dolphins in daily fantasy for this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Running it back with Terry McLaurin or something like that.
You can't give me a scenario where Washington holds them under 30. I mean,
No,
I don't see it.
No, the defense, and they just fired defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio. Now I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Like all of a sudden the defense is just going to be incredible. No,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
They give up like 30 to the Giants, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Out.
All right. Let's get ahead here to Panthers and Buccaneers. Buccaneers favored by 5.5. Point total in this one is 37. Panthers just fired head coach Frank Reich. Now, we talked about this a few weeks ago with the Raiders firing their head coach with Josh McDaniels and inserting Antonio Pierce. Do you give any sort of edge to the Panthers in that formula of firing a head coach, team rallying around head coach? Because I don't.
I do in most cases. This is the one where I don't, because Frank Reich's a likable guy. I think the Panthers liked him. And Dave Tepper, the owner, is an absolute moron.
He's a hedge fund billionaire jackass.
And that's the problem, actually. So it's...
He looked like a buffoon this week.
So Reich, look, they're 1-10. It's been awful in Carolina. But it's year one of a rookie quarterback and a roster that was no coach on earth was going to win with. So... you look at it like that, and I don't see how this team can be motivated. That said, I also don't want Tampa. They're super banged up, so it's just a stay away altogether for me.
Yeah, it seems like it's a big Rashard White game, I will say that. He's facing a horrendous Panthers run defense there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, Baker Mayfield got a little banged up last week. I think he'll be good to go. Came back in the game last week. Yeah, it's a stay away because I would probably say that the firing the head coach thing doesn't apply here because I don't think any of the players want to play for this guy.
Yeah.
All right, well, enough about that one there. Let's move ahead to the Browns and the Rams. Rams are favored by 3.5. Point total in this one is 40, and I really, really wanted to take the Rams, as you can imagine, as I have the past couple of weeks here. But ultimately, I stayed away from the hook on this one. What's the status of Myles Garrett? Because
too early for an injury report, but he
Yeah.
left last week, and I don't know. He didn't look good on the sidelines. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. So the Browns, yards per play and points allowed at home, they are first in yards allowed per play at home, and they are allowing 10.2 points at home. However, on the road, they are 26th
Two different
in
defenses.
yards per play and points allowed on the road. They are allowing 29.6, which is pretty crazy. And Kyron Williams, absolute juggernaut for the Rams backfield and offense overall last week. Cooper Kupp looks incredibly banged up.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on with him, but still, I really wanted to take the Rams on this one. I just couldn't with the hook there.
Game open pick, gone up to 3.5. Rumors Joe Flacco's playing.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Just stay away.
Now, if Flacco is confirmed as the starter, do you think this moves to like 5?
I think it's moved to where it's moved. I may get to 4, but I think the anticipation's there that it's Flacco.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just an ultimate stay away from me, but really wanted 6 like Rams. 6 like Rams.
6 like, all right.
Just for the
like,
record.
yeah,
6
like.
6 likes. All right, Monday Night Football. Before we get to our best bets, we have the Bengals and the Jaguars. Jaguars favored by 8.5. Coming off a big win in Houston last week. Point total on this one is 38 here. What side would you take?
I don't know. I think I'd lay it with the Jags. I'll tell you what I did do, Tuck. I'm going to give it to
Tease?
you. I did tease it
Tease?
with Dallas. 8.5 to 2.5. Get your primetime tease Thursday and Monday night. Sit back, relax, have your popcorn, this cool soda, little bear, whatever you want to drink, and enjoy your nice
cool
teaser.
Soda,
I'm
room
not a big
temperature soda.
I don't give out teasers a lot, but this feels very nice. -2.5 for Dallas, -2.5 for Jacksonville, both at home. They are going to win these games. I don't know if I really want to lay 8.5 with the Jags, even at home. I still don't know if they have that killer instinct. And I don't know enough about this Browning kid yet. I want to see another week of him.
Is T. Higgins going to play in this one?
Who knows? Is T. Higgins ever going to play?
Yeah, it just feels like the Bengals are going to be slip sliding away here. They lost 3 in a row and 5 and 6. And yeah, I don't know. I just, if I had to take a side, I'd obviously take the Jaguars here to really move to 9 and 3 and solidify and really take a charge of that number 1 seed in the AFC. Jags are 5-0 away, by the way, and they're 3 and 3 at home. And I guess one of those is London, or 2 of those are London, technically, right?
Yeah, 2 would be London.
So I don't even know if that counts.
Well, they'll count them as home games.
Yeah.
I know the Niners blitzed them in Jacksonville, though. So I know that was one of their losses.
Yeah.
I don't see the Bengals doing that.
All right, let's go ahead to our best bet, which is I'll start and give my best bet because my final which I have not given out yet, is actually your best bet. Talked about it earlier. Give me the Patriots. Give me the Chargers. Under 41.5.
Beautiful.
Both of these teams, they've combined to go 16-6 to the under this season. Last 2 games for the Patriots, 13 combined points with the Colts and the Giants, and they've scored fewer than 10 points 4 times this season. They've only scored more than 20 points once this season, which I believe was very early on with the Dolphins, I think, or was
Buffalo,
it the
they
Eagles?
beat the Bills, didn't they?
Oh, no, excuse me. It was the
29?
Bills. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I don't think Demario Douglas plays this week, and they're playing games, it seems like, with the concussion protocol. They kind of left it be like, well, I don't know. Well, see what happens. Just Bill being Bill. But that clothesline tackle was as dirty as it gets, and I would be very surprised if Douglas played this week. Stevenson is the Patriots' offense. I actually like him a lot for daily fantasy, just because he's probably going to get 25-plus carries and get involved in the pass game, too. Doesn't matter what the quarterback is. I'm not even going to talk about it because we've talked about it at length, and especially on sports radio in this area. Both quarterbacks suck. We all know that. But earlier, we addressed Austin Eckler kind of looking iffy, and you said he looked a step slower. So Chargers offense, they're kind of struggling here, but you get another West Coast team going to the East Coast, similar to like I said earlier. And you wonder if this Chargers team is kind of tuning out this season now. They have now lost 3 in a row. They are 4-7. I would venture to guess that the majority of that team does not believe in their head coach anymore.
Ugh.
This
Did you
guy's
hear
gonna.
him after the game?
This guy should have got fired weeks ago.
He should get fired at the end of the. You blow that playoff lead to the Jags, you should have got fired. And he's an absolute bozo.
Yeah. So
and he said though, if they win this game, there's a path. I don't know what path he's talking
there's no
about.
friggin' path. Shut up,
moron.
And then in terms of the under, Belichick does have success versus Justin Herbert. Now it has been 2 games, but in both of those games, Justin Herbert has a quarterback rating of 43.7 and 66.7. He's thrown 4 picks and only thrown for 2 touchdowns, and he has 6 sacks versus the Patriots here. So, yeah, under 41.5. Add in the weather if you want, by all means. I don't care if it was a sunny day. I'd still like this under here. The Patriots, they're not going to put up 20 points all of a sudden.
No,
it's not going to happen.
They're not.
It's not going to happen. Like, the Chargers' defense is, like, okay. They're middle of the pack.
Well. They played well.
They're not going to have any issues with this Patriots offense.
No.
Best bet has sucked for me this year. A lot of you should probably fade it. But give me the under 41.5.
I wish you had 42 because I think the Chargers could win this game 42-0.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No, I don't think they could. That's the frustrating part as a
kidding.
Patriots fan, is that the defense has been above average all year. I mean, I said that they combined for 13 total points with the offense.
6s every other snap. It's a
But
problem.
The defense has allowed 20 points in 2 games.
Yeah, no.
What do you want them to do?
Fine. It'll be fine.
What do you want them to do? What's your best bet?
All right, buddy. Buckle up.
Everybody play his best bets because he's 10-2 in the year, and you're missing out on free money.
All right. I'm going to tell a little story with this one.
Okay.
Best bet is the San Francisco 49ers.
My
minus
fourth leg.
2.5. Tucker, I've personally, along with the San Francisco 49ers, been waiting since January 29th, 2023 for this rematch when Philly wanted to pretend like the Brock Purdy injury had nothing to do with the outcome of that game and
First
didn't
possession.
like the fact that the Niners said it. And, so now you got all the scumbag Philly fans thinking like they're talking their smack, and I seriously can't wait for this. So the spot is unbelievable for the 49ers, Tuck. It's a mini bye after playing on Thanksgiving against a division rival, which is supposed to be this big physical matchup, but in turn they absolutely beat the Seattle Seahawks skulls in, which was beautiful to watch. And what's Philly coming off of? Well, back-to-back battles where they had to come back against Kansas City and come back against Buffalo.
Tiring overtime shootout.
Exactly. So particularly tough game with Buffalo winning that in overtime. 2 games in which Philly was outgained by their opponent. So losing the stats on both of those games like they've done much of the year. So while they're 10-1 and they're winning all these close games, I have to just tell you that they are a good team, but they're also a lucky team. And eventually, luck runs out. So, hey, Philly, meet luck, because luck's coming Sunday, and it's over, right? The Niners are a team that's as healthy as anyone, and now when they're healthy, Tucker, with Debo and Trent Williams, they're just beating the hell out of teams, not just winning, but covering at a large margin, okay? So they don't care if they're on the road. They don't care if they're at home. It's been good. It doesn't matter who they're playing. Dallas, Jacksonville, Seattle, all top 12 teams in this league dismantled them. So San Francisco, they've been starting fast. Philly's been allowing points early. We've seen this game where Philly has to come back, put all their energy into the fourth quarter. If they do that again, they're not coming back because San Francisco doesn't slow down. So they have to keep the Niners off the scoreboard early. And quite honestly, I don't like Philly's defense. I know they're 10-1, but you look at the numbers. They are 29th in the league against the pass. And I'm sorry, but Brock Purdy's played really well. He's got all his weapons there. I think McCaffrey gets going in the passing game. Philly is number 1 against the run in the league. Well, San Francisco's 3rd. And, these teams, they both run, they both pass. But still, something's looking different to me about Philly's offense. I know they keep coming back and playing well in the second half. But I just like the way the Niners offense is playing. And then on defense, we're going to flip this over. Since Chase Young was acquired, the Niners have
What a pickup.
15 sacks on defense in 3 games.
What
15.
a pickup. Yep.
So he's been awesome, but he's giving life to that defensive line, which is everything they needed in that 3-game slump. And Philly's offensive line just hasn't looked as great as they were last year. That's been a big part of them falling down a little bit. They're still good. They're still talented, but they're not playing at that elite level they were. So I think, Tucker, the 49ers are going to win this game. I don't think it's going to be close.
I think double digits is very much on the table for this.
It's in play. But I will also say, as a gambler, whenever you listen to the show, there's been buyback at 3. So once it gets to 3, you're going to see some buyback with Philly. Be smart. 2.5 will come. Bet 2.5. Save yourself that field goal. Do not bet more than 3 because you don't need to.
So you wouldn't bet them at 3.5?
No, it's not going to get there either.
It won't get there.
Not going to get there.
Yeah.
There'll be buyback on Philly. I have a ticket +1 from the Open, which I love.
That's
but
crazy.
I also have a ticket of -2.5 because I feel confident, and that's the pick I'm giving out here as my best bets. I always play my bets. As you know, everything I give out on the show, I'm playing. So my best bet, -2.5, San Francisco 49ers.
And you mentioned luck. I mean, how can you? You'll never forget the Devonta Smith catch.
Oh, yeah. That was
on 4th down.
Yeah.
That was not a catch.
Not a catch.
And
Not a
remind me, did San Francisco not challenge that? Or
They
did
didn't
Philly
challenge
rush
it.
to the
They
line?
rushed to the line. They didn't challenge it in time.
Yeah.
He threw the flag,
That was
but
a
it was
drop.
after the fact.
Obvious
He dropped
drop.
it.
That sucks that they didn't call that.
And they were still winning with Josh Johnson in the first half of that game. McCaffrey scored a touchdown. They were winning that game. So
they looked like the better team
they
then,
are-
and they're
they
the
were
better
the
team now.
It's a fact. They are. They're more talented all around.
The secondary for Philly stinks.
Yep, they're in trouble. They're in trouble.
This was very close to a best bet for me, too, honestly.
Double bet.
And they needed more luck with a 59-yard field goal in the rain.
Okay.
Balls kick, by the way.
Insane kick.
All the credit in the world to Jake Elliott, but still.
Insane
luck.
kick. How about A.J. Brown just fumbling in overtime and they don't even review it? I mean, it was close enough for a review. His team has, just luck.
And they got the Cowboys next week.
And the Cowboys next week. And the Niners play the Seahawks, and that game's not as important as this. I can promise you.
Is this a significant wager for you?
Yes. Best bet's always significant.
Now, you said that the Bengals-Bills a few weeks ago was your second largest bet ever.
Yeah.
Are we in that territory?
Yeah, we're at the same price.
All right.
Combined with +1 and -2.5, yeah.
What about
+1
So
is
you don't
very
like
large.
this at 3. You like this at 2.
There's no reason to bet it at 3.
Yeah, because it's a push.
It's going to come back. Well, I don't think it's going to be a push. I really don't. But I 3 is the worst number you're going to get. It's open Philly -1.5. It quickly went to 1 and to San Francisco's favor by Sunday night. So, this has been teetering. Every time it's gotten to 3, it's a juice 3.
Yeah,
so
it's
for
3
Philly,
right now.
For Philly's side.
On FanDuel, it's 2.5. DraftKings, it's 3.
So that's it. But it's a juice 3, right? So, a juice 3 for Philly. So it's like a -120, -118 for Philly, right? So it's a cheaper, it's in between 2. And it's right now, the line's really at 2.75, which is not a bettable thing. It's just where it's teetering right now. So it's between 2.5 and 3. That's why you're seeing the juice.
In terms of the 49ers offense, I've been pretty good with this the majority of the year. I thought it was a Deebo Samuel game last week, and I hit that. Brandon Ayuk had a massive game the week prior. I thought Samuel was going to be a little bit more involved in that one. But if you had to guess which wideout is the better play in terms of player props, or who do you think is going to pop for the 49ers this week, aside from Christian McCaffrey? Is it a George Kittle game?
I think it's a Brandon Ayuk game.
Brandon Ayuk.
I think every eye is on Deebo. He talked some smack after that game, and he won't back down from
Eileen
it.
Ayuk
Hassan
too,
Reddick
yeah.
and A.J. Brown have been having some fun with him.
I mean, look at what Gabe Davis did last week.
Brandon Ayuk has been the best receiver on that team, and he's a top 10 receiver in this league, and he's just because there's all these stars, no one's really talking about him like that. But he is. Ayuk's been their, besides McCaffrey, he's been their best offensive player.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Absolutely.
He's awesome. And his routes. I mean, the touchdown he scored against Seattle, that was an insane throw by Purdy, but between 4 guys and gets into the end zone at a time they needed it, where Seattle had that pick 6 and they're kind of coming back, but starting to put some pressure on. They're balls right now. So they're playing as hot as they can possibly play. So Good luck, Philly.
By the way, the spread for the first half on this one, Niners are half a point here for the first half.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
I like that because Philly's been starting slow and Niners have not. So
22.5 point total for the first half as well there. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just recap our likes here. Lions -4, Steelers -5.5, Atlanta, New York Jets under 34, 49ers -2.5 for me. For you, Matt, your likes, Chargers -6, Titans +1.5, Texans -3.5, Packers +6. Best bet for me, Pats, Chargers under 41.5. And your best bet, my fourth like, 49ers -2.5. Looking to extend that best bet streak to 11-2.
Let's do it.
How many in a row is that, by the way?
Jesus, probably like 5, I think. I think we're up to 5 in a row.
Good,
4 in a row.
good
5
run
in a
here,
row.
kid.
Yeah, we're
Good
doing
run.
Doing well. Doing well.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Again, please follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Follow us on YouTube. Give us a like and a review at Better-in-Laws, all that fun stuff. Thank you to Hurley, our producer, coming to you live from the TD Garden, or I guess recorded for you guys. TD Garden Card Vault Studios here, hosted by Big Night Media. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to all our listeners. Matt, thank you.
Thank you, Tuck.
All right, man. Have a good one. We'll see you next week for Week 14. Recap this slate. I feel good about this slate.
Love the portfolio.
Let's go have a winning week, shall we?
Let's do it again.
All right. See you, everybody. Thanks.